Okay, I think this one's gonna be fun because airport politics is crazy. Am I the asshole for not letting someone switch seats mid flight? My wife, 36 female, and I, 34 male, were flying back from Dublin to Washington, D.C. We were assigned the middle and window seats in a row. The aisle passenger no showed, so we ended up having the entire row to ourselves. Huge win. Before leaving the gate, I moved to the aisle seat, and my wife stayed at the window. Nothing eventful happened for the first 4.5 hours of the flight. Flight attendants were amazing and even gave us extra drinks for the guy in the middle. Randomly, the passenger from the aisle across comes over with her friend who was sitting a few rows back and announces that her friend would now be taking the middle seat to get away from a crying baby further back. She did not ask, she told us this was happening. There were about 3 hours of flight time remaining. I asked the woman whether the flight attendants are on board with this. She said yes, but since the deals are usually brokered by the FA, I called over the FA. The FA said the agreement was that they could take an available aisle seat, but not disrupt anyone's seating arrangements. The woman then starts bitching about how I was assigned the middle, but then I moved to the aisle seat before takeoff, so I shouldn't even have the aisle seat. I had been sitting there for almost 5 hours, and we had already distributed our items all over the road. The woman and her friend disappeared to talk to the FA for about 5 minutes. The woman across the aisle then comes back to her seat and proceeds to yell at me, saying her friend would not be sitting there, not because she was not allowed to, but because I was incredibly rude and that I was being a-hole. I kept my eyes on the show I was watching. The only thing I did this entire time was talk to the flight attendant. I did not say anything else to the woman, though I would have liked to. Am I the a-hole for not volunteering the middle seat mid-flight? Yeah, I don't know about this one. I mean, if his original seat was next to his wife, why wouldn't you just sit in the middle next to your wife? Like, that doesn't really make any sense. The aisle seat is not the one that you paid for, so I hate when they do that. Like, if you paid for the aisle seat and you really wanted to sit at the window seat, then you should have paid for the window seat. Like, come on. That's ridiculous. Stay where you're at. The aisle seat was already free. They could have sat in the aisle seat. I wouldn't have given up the middle seat though, because that's the one that I paid to be at. I would have stayed at the middle seat next to my wife that's at the window. And she could have stayed at the aisle. Not a big deal. But you don't own the whole row just because the person that was missing didn't show up. So that's a little bit entitlement to me. And just all the politics around flying is crazy. But at the same time, if you're giving off the vibe that you don't really want someone to sit there, then I wouldn't sit there either. I would be like, okay, I'll just stay next to the crying baby, put some headphones in, and mind my business. Because nobody wants to be around bad energy. So why would they even? Yeah, I think the best thing they did was that, not even sit there, because it'd be awkward. Being in the middle seat, the wife is there, the man is there. It's just gonna be a lot of unnecessary tension. I'd rather be with the baby in the back crying. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting politics around airplane etiquette. Let's see what that other people saying. That's not how flying works, somebody commented. I'm on 15 to 20 airplanes a month for work. If nobody's sitting in the aisle seat and boarding is over and you move over to the aisle seat to give you and the person next to you more room, congratulations, you won the lottery. Once the plane is in the air, the seating arrangements are on lock. If there is one person in the window seat with 2 empty seats, it might be appropriate to sit in the aisle seat. But other than that, no way. I wouldn't say it's unlocked, but people already in that row definitely have first dibs. Okay, true. What else? Yeah, everyone seems to be missing the part that it's not his row. When I travel on trains, I stretch out, but I have to gather myself if somebody wants to sit next to me. I didn't pay for the other seat. I think there are both a-holes. It's true. I mean, if nobody needs the seat, sure, spread out, be more comfortable. But if somebody needs the aisle seat and that's not your aisle seat, your seat is the middle one, then go back to where you came from. Like, that's your OG seating. You paid to sit there. So I personally wouldn't have a problem with doing that, because I understand nobody wants to be next to somebody that's crying the whole flight. And yeah, I'd rather be next to my wife. Come on. But that wraps up that story.